When a man reaches the age of 60, his body begins to send quiet but unmistakable signals. Erections are no longer as firm as they used to be. Desire slowly fades, and intimacy with his partner becomes rare, awkward, and sometimes even avoided. Many men assume that all of this is simply an inevitable consequence of aging, something to accept, like wrinkles, gray hair, or those creaky knees in the morning. But the truth is, age is not the enemy, it's only the messenger. Because what's quietly stealing a man's strength, vitality, and sense of masculinity isn't just the number printed on his ID. It's the silent blockage in the vascular system of the penis. Tiny blood vessels that, though small, play a vital role as the lifeline of erection and desire. You can exercise regularly, eat healthy, and even have good cardiovascular test results. But if the microvessels in the pelvic region are clogged, blood flow to that area diminishes. Over time, this weakens not just sexual function, but also the deep internal sense of being a man. Worse still, most men have no idea this is happening. They just feel weaker and quietly endure it. They begin to avoid their wife's gaze, shy away from physical closeness, not because they no longer love her, but because they fear the feeling of failure. They sit quietly in front of the TV, feeling like they're becoming a shadow in their own home, no longer a voice, no longer a presence, no longer a source of attraction. The encouraging news is this: it can be improved, naturally, safely, and effectively, if we understand the real cause. Blood vessels can be opened, circulation can be restored, and when the blood returns, so does the energy, the vitality, and the desire. Because the ability to have an erection is not just a physical function. It is the expression of a body that's still alive, a nervous system that's still sharp, and a heart that still feels excitement. It is life flowing through every cell. It is a form of strength, not to prove anything to anyone, but to feel like yourself again. The most dangerous part is not the decline itself. It's the belief that everything is already over. There are men who enter their 60s as if stepping into darkness. They quietly give up. They accept living as a faded version of themselves, simply because they don't know there is still a way back. And worse, no one tells them that there is. But all it takes is a small beginning, a positive action each day. It could be a change in diet, a focus on improving blood flow, a shift that helps the body return to balance and vibrancy. And when that starts to happen, the comeback is not a fantasy. It's entirely possible. A small glass of water in the morning could be the beginning. A slight shift in blood circulation could unlock emotions, reconnection, and a long-forgotten sense of confidence. Because that man, the one you used to be, has not disappeared. He's simply waiting to be awakened. When you turn 60, the world starts telling you, accept it. Accept that desire will fade. Accept that intimacy is now just a memory. Accept that strength and masculinity, the very things that once made you feel like a man, are now things of the past. But there's another voice, a quiet one inside you, asking, can it change? And that is exactly where Dr. David steps in. Not with grand promises or expensive treatments, but with something remarkably simple. 1 glass of water each morning for 7 days might be the beginning of recovery. No medication, no surgery, no need to become someone new. Just the need to awaken the man you once were, the man who still lives inside you. There's something no one says out loud, but you feel it deeply. Age begins to take away the things you once took for granted. One morning you wake up and realize your body no longer responds the way it used to. One evening you lie beside your beloved wife and feel empty, not from anger, but because there's just nothing there. You don't tell anyone, but you know something is slipping away. And you wonder, is this the end of the story? But what if I told you this story can still be written? That you don't need to become someone else, don't need a miracle, don't need expensive pills. Just one glass of water each morning made from 4 natural ingredients? No one promises you'll become a superhero, but many men, once hopeless, once quietly saying goodbye to intimacy, have found their way back simply by nourishing their bodies in the right way every single day. Let me tell you about 4 humble yet powerful companions on the journey back to vitality. 1. Beets, the one who rekindles the dimming flame of circulation. Not flashy, not sweet, beets are a modest root vegetable. But beneath that rough exterior lies a powerhouse of energy, especially for men over 60, those who are quietly losing their circulatory strength without even knowing it. Why are beets so important? Inside beets lies a high concentration of natural nitrates. Once ingested, these nitrates are converted by the body into nitric oxide, a miraculous molecule that helps dilate blood vessels, enhance circulation, and deliver oxygen and nutrients to every corner of your body, especially to the pelvic region. Did you know that an erection doesn't rely solely on hormones? It's a purely physical process, dependent on blood vessels, and pressure. If the blood doesn't arrive in sufficient volume, or if it can't be maintained, then no matter how strong your desire is, your body simply can't respond. Beets are the awakener of the circulatory system. They don't just help you regain erectile function, but also increase oxygen to the brain, leading to sharper focus, boost oxygen to the heart, reducing fatigue during activity, support liver function and detoxification, improving energy and sleep quality. Dr. David once said, "If I could only choose one ingredient to begin a man's recovery journey at 60, I'd always choose beets." They are quiet, without side effects, but they strike directly at the root of what most men struggle with: circulation. 2. Fresh lemon, the quiet companion you should never leave out. No one expects a small lemon to play a key role in male vitality. But skip it and the effectiveness of beets is cut in half. Lemons, especially fresh squeezed juice, not bottled, are packed with vitamin C, which acts as a catalyst, helping your body absorb the nitrates in beets more efficiently. You could drink all the beet juice in the world, but without vitamin C, your body won't be able to convert those nitrates into nitric oxide effectively. But lemons do more than that. They reduce internal inflammation, the silent killer of circulation. They support liver detoxification, making the body feel lighter. They help lower cortisol, the stress hormone that causes depression, insomnia, and diminished desire in men, often without them realizing it. Harold, a 70-year-old patient of Dr. David, once said, "I was already drinking beet juice, but the effects were just average. After I added fresh lemon juice every morning, it was like I woke up." Lemon isn't the fire itself, but it's the spark that helps relight the flame that's quietly dying within you. 3. Fresh ginger, the one who awakens inner manhood. Ginger isn't just a spice. For men over 60, fresh ginger is a true vitality tonic, natural, safe, and surprisingly powerful. Why? Ginger stimulates the pituitary gland to produce natural testosterone, the hormone that reminds you that you are still a man. No hormone injections, no synthetic pills, just one slice of fresh ginger each morning can help. Boost natural testosterone levels by up to 17%, according to several clinical studies. Calm the sympathetic nervous system, reducing anxiety and restoring confidence and mental clarity. Improve circulation, reduce inflammation, ease joint pain, and increase physical endurance. What's wonderful is that ginger doesn't give you artificial heat like synthetic stimulants. It brings you back to a natural equilibrium, strong, steady, and inspired from within. Samuel, 72, once a quiet, discouraged man who had felt sexually empty for years, told Dr. David a week after starting ginger, "I no longer feel like I have to force anything. Everything feels like it's running naturally now." 4. Coconut water, the silent fuel behind every response in the body. Coconut water might seem like the most underrated part of the formula. But in truth, it's the foundational element that allows the rest to work as they should. As you age, your body loses its ability to retain water at the cellular level. You may not feel thirsty, but your cells are quietly wilting inside. This leads to thicker blood, reduced circulation, weaker muscles, decreased activity, mental fog and slower response, diminished desire. Coconut water delivers natural electrolytes like potassium and magnesium, helping maintain nerve signaling and supple blood vessels, cellular hydration, enhancing stamina and post-activity recovery, support for absorption of the other nutrients in the blend, especially ginger and lemon. Leonard, a man who said he had done everything right and still felt no change, finally began to feel his body responding simply by adding 1 cup of coconut water to his morning drink. Sometimes, it's not that your body isn't listening, it's just that it hasn't had enough water to carry the message. Conclusion: 4 ingredients, 1 glass of water, and a journey back to yourself. When a man feels that he has lost his masculinity, most people think that only pills, therapy, or surgery can help. But Dr. David has shown something different. The most powerful recovery comes from nature, and it comes from patience. 1 glass of water each morning. Just 4 simple ingredients. Yet each ingredient awakens a vital part of your physiological system: circulation, absorption, hormone balance, and cellular health. Not loud, not instant, but gradual and real. And when your body starts responding, you won't just feel better. You'll feel yourself coming back, clearly, strongly, confidently, and more deeply connected with who you are and the person you love. So tomorrow, give it a try. 1 glass of water, 1 new habit. And maybe a new chapter will begin, where age is no longer the end, but the beginning of a more complete version of you. Detailed preparation, 1 glass every morning. Transformation doesn't come from big, dramatic gestures. It begins with something small, repeated daily, like watering a dried-out tree. Your body, after years of endurance, neglect, and strain, might need only a simple glass of water, made with the right ingredients at the right moment, to begin turning green again. Below is a detailed guide to preparing the drink that has helped many men over the age of 60 reconnect with their bodies, emotions, and sense of masculinity. First, prepare the 4 key ingredients. You'll need 2 fresh red beets, each weighing around 150 to 200 grams. Peel them and cut into small pieces. Choose beets that are firm and deep red in color. Next, take a slice of fresh ginger about 2 to 3 centimeters long. Peel and slice it thinly. Avoid using dry ginger or powder as they lose the natural enzymes. Then take half of a fresh lemon and squeeze out the juice, removing any seeds. Lastly, measure 1 cup, around 250 milliliters, of pure coconut water, preferably fresh, unsweetened, and free from preservatives. You'll need a blender, ideally a slow-press juicer if available. Also prepare a fine mesh strainer if you prefer a smoother drink, and a clean glass to serve it in. Don't forget essentials like a knife, cutting board, and spoon. Start by prepping the ingredients. Wash the beets thoroughly, peel, and chop into small chunks for easier blending. If you're not used to the earthy taste of raw beets, you can lightly boil them for 3 minutes to mellow the flavor. Peel and thinly slice the ginger. Squeeze the lemon juice and strain out any seeds to avoid bitterness. Pour the coconut water into a glass, checking to make sure there's no pulp or shell. Put the beets, ginger, and coconut water into the blender first. Blend for 30 to 45 seconds until the mixture is smooth. Only after blending should you add the lemon juice. Adding lemon afterward helps preserve the vitamin C and natural enzymes, which might otherwise break down from the heat generated during blending. If you prefer a lighter drink, strain the mixture through a mesh sieve to remove the pulp and keep only the juice. But if you're comfortable with a thicker smoothie texture and want more fiber, feel free to drink it all. The pulp is excellent for digestion and metabolism. The drink should be consumed immediately after preparation, ideally in the morning, 30 to 60 minutes before eating. It's also beneficial before physical activities such as walking, exercising, or being intimate with your spouse. This is when the body absorbs nutrients best, and it's a powerful way to begin the day with clarity and intention. There are a few important things to note. Do not leave the drink overnight or store it for long, as the nutrients diminish with time. If you are taking medication for heart conditions or other chronic illnesses, make sure to wait at least 30 minutes between taking your meds and drinking this blend. For visible results, continue daily for at least 7 days. You might even turn this into a mindful ritual, a moment of quiet awareness for yourself. While preparing, turn off the TV, set your phone aside. As you peel the beet, take a deep breath. When pouring the coconut water, silently thank your body for its resilience over the years. After drinking, don't rush. Sit for a moment and feel the blood moving. Feel life gradually returning to you. To summarize, your morning vitality drink is a blend of 2 beets, 1 slice of ginger, the juice of half a lemon, and a cup of coconut water. It's a small habit, but it carries a powerful message. Age is not the end, but an invitation to write a more whole, more awakened chapter of your life. You can start tomorrow, and who knows, after just 7 days, you might realize you haven't truly lost anything. You just needed to wake it back up. You may wonder, what difference could 1 glass of water really make? But true healing doesn't begin with fireworks. It begins with silent, subtle shifts, yet deeply real ones. This is what many men have experienced when they faithfully followed this morning formula. A 7-day journey, not long, but just enough for a quiet body to begin responding once again. Detailed preparation method. 1 glass every morning. Transformation doesn't stem from grand gestures. It begins with a simple act repeated daily, like watering a parched plant. After enduring years of neglect and strain, your body may only require a straightforward, timely concoction to rejuvenate. Below is a comprehensive guide to crafting a beverage that has assisted numerous men over 60 in reconnecting with their bodies, emotions, and inner strength. Ingredients: 2 fresh red beets, each approximately 150 to 200 grams, peeled and chopped. Opt for firm, deep red beets. A slice of fresh ginger, 2 to 3 centimeters, peeled and thinly sliced. Avoid dried or powdered ginger to retain natural enzymes. Juice from half a fresh lemon, seeds removed. 1 cup, about 250 milliliters, of pure coconut water, preferably fresh, unsweetened, and preservative-free. Equipment: blender. A slow juicer is ideal, but a regular blender suffices. Fine mesh strainer, optional for a smoother drink. Clean glass for serving. Knife, cutting board, and spoon for preparation. Preparation steps. 1. Prepare the ingredients. Wash and peel the beets, then chop them into small pieces for easier blending. If you're unaccustomed to the earthy taste of raw beets, blanching them for 3 minutes can mellow the flavor. Peel and thinly slice the ginger. Squeeze the lemon juice, ensuring seeds are removed to prevent bitterness. Measure out the coconut water, checking for any pulp or shell fragments. 2. Blend. Place the chopped beets, sliced ginger, and coconut water into the blender. Blend for 30 to 45 seconds until the mixture is smooth. 3. Add lemon juice. After blending, stir in the freshly squeezed lemon juice. Adding it post-blending preserves the vitamin C and natural enzymes which might degrade due to the heat generated during blending. 4. Strain optional. If you prefer a smoother texture, pour the mixture through a fine mesh strainer to remove the pulp. However, consuming the fiber-rich pulp can aid digestion and metabolism. Consumption guidelines. Drink the beverage immediately after preparation, preferably in the morning on an empty stomach, 30 to 60 minutes before eating or engaging in physical activity, like walking, exercising, or intimate moments. This timing optimizes nutrient absorption and kickstarts your day with vitality. Important notes. Avoid storing the drink overnight as its nutritional value diminishes over time. If you're on medication for heart conditions or other chronic illnesses, ensure a 30-minute gap between taking your medicine and consuming this drink. For noticeable benefits, maintain this routine consistently for at least 7 days. Creating a morning ritual. Transform this practice into a mindful morning ritual. Turn off distractions like the TV and put away your phone. As you peel the beets, take a deep breath. While pouring the coconut water, silently thank your body for its resilience over the years. After drinking, sit quietly and sense the movement within. Feel life gradually returning. Summary. Each morning, blend 2 beets, a slice of ginger, juice from half a lemon, and a cup of coconut water. This simple habit carries a profound message. Aging isn't an end, but an opportunity to embark on a more conscious and fulfilling chapter of life. You can begin this journey tomorrow. Perhaps after just 7 days, you'll realize that nothing was truly lost. You merely needed to awaken it. You might wonder, can a single glass of juice make a difference? Recovery doesn't commence with dramatic changes. It starts with subtle, consistent shifts that resonate deeply. This is the experience of many men who have faithfully followed this morning routine. A 7-day journey, brief yet sufficient to rekindle a once dormant body. Coulter's story. I thought I was done, but I wasn't. Coulter is 71 years old. A retired naval officer, he served over 3 decades in the Navy. With his neatly trimmed silver hair, upright posture, and clear voice, he epitomized strength, physically, mentally, and in the quiet pride many men carry throughout their lives. But since retiring, Coulter's body began to change. Not like a storm, but gradually, like the receding tide. It started with restless nights. Then came morning fatigue. Eventually, he noticed he no longer reacted when his wife placed her hand on his in the kitchen or leaned gently on his shoulder on the sofa. He loved her deeply, yet he felt empty. He had once been a leader, giving orders and taking responsibility. Now he couldn't control his own body. I started to avoid, Coulter recounted in a deep voice. I no longer looked my wife in the eye when she asked, "Are you okay?" I'd nod silently, then find an excuse to go outside, wash the car, mow the lawn, anything to avoid explaining. Honestly, I didn't know what to say. I couldn't understand what was happening. He underwent health checks, heart, blood pressure, blood sugar, all within normal ranges. The doctor said, "For your age, you're doing well." But Coulter didn't feel well. One morning, by chance, he watched a talk by Dr. David about penile vascular blockages and how poor circulation could make a man feel like he'd lost his identity. He recalled, I sat up straight. The first thing he said hit me. You don't need to become someone new. You just need to restore who you used to be. I immediately took notes. The next morning, I made my first glass of the drink. I didn't expect anything, but I kept my promise to myself. Coulter didn't hope for miracles. He didn't tell his wife. He quietly prepared beetroot, ginger, lemon, and coconut water every morning before the sunlight reached the kitchen window. On the 3rd day, he noticed something unusual. He no longer dragged his feet to the garden as he usually did. Instead, he walked briskly, carrying the watering can as if it were a long-lost habit. That evening, he and his wife watched a movie together. For the first time in a long while, he turned to look at her and saw her eyes glistening, not from sadness, but from emotion. I didn't think I could feel so clearly again. On the 5th morning, Coulter woke up early, did some stretches like he used to in the Navy. Looking in the mirror, he didn't see an old man. He saw a man, present, vibrant, and full of life, just as he once knew himself to be. It wasn't just about getting it up again. I returned with my gaze, my voice, my confidence. I started talking more with my wife. I began calling my son, checking in before he did. I started living instead of merely existing. I thought I was done, but I wasn't. Coulter didn't call that drink a medicine. He called it a revival ritual. Each morning, as he sliced ginger and squeezed half a lemon, he felt he was actively nurturing his masculine identity. The one time had eroded without warning. Now he shares that recipe with his elderly neighbors, those who once thought that part is over, it's no longer important. And when they begin the practice, he simply says, not because you need to do more, but because you are still here, waiting to be awakened. Dr. David, a men's health specialist with over 30 years of experience, has sat face to face with thousands of men just like this. They came into his clinic with a wide range of symptoms: low libido, insomnia, a fading sense of desire, and above all, a quiet, growing distance from their partner. They weren't seeking a way to perform better in bed. They came searching for themselves. Because masculine strength isn't just about the physical, it's about presence. Maybe you were once a strong man, a father who always protected his family, a quiet but dependable husband. But over time, bit by bit, those pieces get worn down. You don't talk as much as you used to. You avoid your wife's gaze whenever she wants to be close. You start to feel like someone standing on the outside, watching life move on without you. And you stay silent. Not because you don't care, but because you don't know where to begin. Dr. David always starts with a deceptively simple question. When was the last time you truly felt like a man? Some men sit in silence for a long time. Some chuckle with a hint of sadness. Some sigh and say, maybe more than 10 years ago. And then Dr. David shares something unexpected. You don't have to become someone new. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. You just need to restore the man you already are. Because inside every man, whether 60, 70, or even 80, there's still a part of him that's fully alive. It's just been buried under time, pressure, illness, and exhaustion. And what you need isn't a miracle. What you need is a signal, a beginning. Just one small step each morning. Dr. David doesn't write a prescription. Instead, he gives what seems like an almost too simple challenge. Drink 1 glass, a blend of just 4 natural ingredients, every morning for 7 days, and just observe what starts to change. It sounds gentle, but for many men, those 7 days have marked a turning point. Because that glass, with beetroot to open blood vessels, ginger to awaken testosterone, lemon to calm inflammation, and coconut water to nourish your cells, doesn't just act on your body. It sends a quiet message to your system. It's time to come back. And then, what begins to happen? You start sleeping better without medication. You wake up with a strange but familiar feeling, like being truly alive inside your body. You stand straighter, your eyes become clearer, your voice gains warmth and confidence. No one may say anything out loud, but your wife will notice. And you'll notice too, that you're slowly returning to your full masculine presence. No noise, no performance, just the steady return of who you are. Because intimacy isn't just about sex. It's the way you rest your hand on her shoulder to let her know you're still here. It's the way you speak, with clarity, with presence, with feeling. It's the way you walk, not rough, but grounded. It's in your eyes, no longer avoiding, but connecting. Dr. David's final message isn't a promise to make you feel 20 again. He doesn't sell a secret to eternal youth. He simply offers one truth, a truth that has changed thousands of lives. You don't need to become someone new. You just need to restore who you already are. Start every morning with 1 small glass and listen as your body slowly begins to wake up. 7 days, 1 drink each morning. No pills, no false hope. Just a quiet whisper to your own body, I'm still here. And I want to return, because you deserve to feel yourself again, clearly, deeply, and fully.